Today, the Gospel, Jesus makes it clear, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So it's a very important question we need to keep asking ourselves. What exactly are you living for? What exactly is driving you to do what you are doing? What are your priorities in life, in other words? How do you make sense of the different aspects of your life? Family, work, relationships, God, pleasure. So it's very important, therefore, that what is your focus, your ultimate focus, will drive the rest of the other factors. We can only have one focus, and everything else must be driven by one factor. And it is very important for us because if we are not aware of what is driving us, you can end up living a fragmented life. You're doing many things. You're running here, running there, going out for makan, for relationship, go to church, do your work, look after your family, and many things you are doing. But there is no center. And so at the end of the day, you ask yourself, what have you done? What have you achieved? So it's important, again, to remind ourselves, where is your heart? Where is your treasure? Of course, we have to be very careful that we do not fall into the same mistakes as those in the world. The example given to us in the second book of the Kings is Athaliah, the mother of Ahaziah. She was ambitious. For her, what was most important, what was driving her in everything, she had a treasure. But the treasure was power. Power that she felt she should acquire. The truth is, no one is secure in having powers. The more power you have, the more insecure you become. Because there will be many enemies, competitors, waiting to take over your position. You will always find yourself having to defend your ground. There is no peace, actually, for those who want to be on the top always. Because you have to keep on driving yourself, securing yourself. That is why people who are powerful, they are very insecure in many ways. They have no real freedom. So we need to be careful not to be deceived that with power there will be security. There are others, they put pleasure as something very important. So all that they work for, as what perhaps today many of people in the younger generation, they are just looking for pleasure, to have lots of money so that they can go traveling, they can enjoy. It is not to say there is anything wrong with that, but we cannot be working for pleasures, because pleasures, again, do not last. There is also a certain level of saturation point when it comes to pleasure. How much food can you eat? How much traveling can you do? So there are certain limits, because the mind needs to grow. And so after some time, we are tired of all this. It cannot bring us happiness. Certainly not fame either. Fame actually takes away your freedom. Wherever you go, whatever you do, people are watching you. There is no freedom. So you begin to treasure your private life, because wherever you go, you're being recognized. So fame also is very tiring. And also fame, you keep up trying to be popular. So too with what we call wealth. Wealth is also a passing thing. So in all these aspects, it is important for us to realize Jesus, precisely in today's gospel, tells us, do not store up treasures for yourself on earth, where moths and woodworms destroy them, thieves can break in and steal. So, what is the reason? I think the reason is simple, because we are so blinded by our ambitions, by our wrong perceptions of happiness in life, illusions that the world have promoted, which we subscribe to without really thinking through whether these things can offer us real happiness. So today, the gospel therefore directs us back to the same important question. The lamp of the body is the eye. It follows that if your eye is sound, your whole body will be filled with light. So, are you looking at life correctly? Have you got the right perception of life? How you see life, how you see happiness will depend or will determine your happiness. And so many of us, we lack perception. We are blind. As Jesus says, if your eye is diseased, your whole body will be all darkness. That is why for us Christians, we need to turn to Jesus, the light of the world. We need to turn to the scriptures. We need to listen to the wisdom of God. We need to listen to the wisdom of the prophets, the wisdom of the Psalms. What at the end of the day will truly make us happy. Of course, all these other things are important. I'm not saying they are not important. Money, what we call work, all these are important. But what do you think is the most important? It's relationship actually. Relationship with God, relationship with your brothers and sisters. That is the most important. And so it's very important for us to really know that all these things we have, there is only one reason. Actually, it's relationship. Christianity is all about love. Christianity is about relationship. Relationship with God is important so that we have real relationship with our brothers and sisters. And not just our family and beyond. So if you live a life filled with good relationships, that is a rich life.